Okay, we are talking here with some of the members of the Guam Young Professionals, Marcus and Michaela. You guys, always good to see you guys. And I love the fact that you guys have this forum that's coming up talking about the mental aptitude, the strength, specifically like with memory when it comes to like being a high functioning business person. So Marcus, how did you guys come up with this topic?
Well, we came up with this topic because we're always, at GYP, we're always looking for personal development opportunities. And we thought, okay, so what's happening around the world? What's happening in the workplace today, right? So stress, burnout, resilience, creativity, imagination, all these things are sort of buzzwords. And we looked at what is the thing that kind of links all of them up. And it's all the brain. It's all in the brain. And so if you can unlock the superpower of your brain, then all of these things will come along with it.
And maybe, Kyla, not nowhere in human history is that more important than right now because, you know, we're always looking at screens. You can literally go through 300 posts on Instagram and everything like that. So now it's about separating signal from noise, right? And making sure that you commit the really important stuff to your memory.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what are we gonna experience with, you know, because, you know, I work in sports too, when they always talk about it's not just physical strength, but it's also mental strength and everything. So how can we be effective in the business world by having like good memory, being mentally strong?
Yeah, so we do have 3 speakers lined up for this conference who will actually share their experiences and insights, knowledge, and different techniques that you could actually or easily translate to, the different work dynamics in the profession or business industry.
And this, you know, and I love the fact that the theme is mental mastery for market dominance, right? Not just being able to survive, not just, you know, doing well enough and everything like that. You are going to win, and your organization is going to be a cut above if you hone these skills within you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so how do we do that? And the speaker that you're bringing out, Luke Cardinal, neuro coach and creator of the Begotten Method. I love that.
Yeah, Luke Cardinal is going to be the headline speaker. And what he's known for is he's a neuro coach, as you said. And what that means is that he links how to unlock the potential of your mind. So overcoming stress, overcoming the burnout, those are all things that you can do within your mind. So a lot of what recently science has found that, you know, meditation and those things that, you know, kind of break away from your stress and anxiety can really help performance. And this is what Luke's going to bring to the table. He's going to be able to show some science-backed techniques on how to do that.
And I love the fact that we have Kyla here because you probably better than anybody in the business community really exude the power of positive thinking too. And if you have a good attitude going in, you're going to be able to remember more, you can recall more and everything, and that is going to come through in your performance, right?
Yeah. So to kind of add what Marcus was saying, so Luke Cardinal, he's going to discuss what they say is like the 3 brains, right? So your mind, your heart, and your gut, and how those 3 really correlate to make sound decisions.
Okay, so it's your instinct, it's your inherent knowledge and everything like that, and it's just
how they
common
all
sense.
work together, yes.
Okay. How difficult is it that we apply these things? Because, you know, of course, in the hyper-competitive business world, and even though on Guam, you know, we're 170,000, but I mean, Guam business community is competitive. How do we actually, Marcus, put this into practice to be effective today?
Well, I think when we were talking to Luke, we had a pre-conference conversation with him, and the way he put it together was, we need to build resilience, we need to build creativity, and I think that really resonated because here on Guam, we don't have a lot of the things that we do, a lot of the resources. We have to be resilient, we have to be creative in the way we do business, and so I think his methods and his teachings will allow us to kind of think that way, and especially in the age of technology and AI, and where, you know, we're now competing with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and I love the fact, Marcus, that you brought up the fact that like meditation really is not just seen as kind of like a thing for certain departments, or, you know, maybe I know people would do like Bible study during like, you know, their lunch break and everything, but it is really seen as a competitive tool now because it really does get the best out of your staff.
Well, absolutely. You talk to all the billionaires, all the tech people out there, and I mean, they'll swear by it, right? It's something that really helps make good decisions because when you're mentally aligned, when you're focused, the 3 hearts, the heart, the gut, and the brain are aligned. That's when you make your best decisions. That's when you perform at best performance. So before it used to be, let's focus on physical fitness. Well, that physical component now has a mental component to it.
Absolutely. Okay, and the one thing I love, Kyla, is we're bringing out Luke. We're tapping his, you know, industry expertise from, you know, with all his travels and all the different industries he talked to. We also got a local boy who's going to speak who can really drive it home to know how the market here can really effectively implement it.
Yeah, so we do have Dr. Lewin Nguyen, and he is a dual board certified physician in family and aesthetic medicine, inducing cutting edge wellness therapies.
Very nice. And I remember interviewing the good doctor when he first came back and he first started, but doing physical therapy and really getting people again to that point of when they can be their best selves.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, coming from like the tech side, right? I always say that it's one thing to learn something in theory, right? We do what we call eating our own dog food, right? How are you going to actually implement this? So how can the three of us, myself at KUAM and you guys in your own respective organizations, put this into practice and really advocate this for for our coworkers?
Yeah, so like you kind of said earlier, right, it's all about attitude, right? And so I feel that if, let's say, we learn techniques through this conference, even though, we learn it ourselves and those in our at our workplace may not have attended, we can still bring those techniques to the workplace and kind of lead by example.
Okay, and Marcus, one thing, there's another speaker, Dave Farrell. You are literally, my friends, going to hear about someone when it comes to like memory who is the best in the world.
Big deal. He's a really big deal. 2-time Guinness World Record holder for memory.
Oh, 2-time?
2-time.
Okay, there you go.
And his biggest feat was memorizing 59 decks of cards in order. That's over 3,000 cards, right? And the most impressive thing, so you think, okay, wow, this guy, must have.
I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
You and me both, right? But this gentleman, he grew up diagnosed with ADHD. He was diagnosed with dyslexia. So he really had the cards stacked against him. And he just said, I'm going to break through all of that. And look at what he's achieved. And so he's going to take all of that learning plus scientifically proven methods to be able to help with memory. And all of these things, Luke, Dave, Dr. Nguyen's conversations will all be tied in on how do we tap into that supercomputer in our heads.
Okay, and the one thing I always appreciate about the GYP events, you guys, is there's always that point of, when the you may have like the lunch break or you may have the presentations conclude and everything, and you say, okay, everybody talk about how we can discuss this for our island right now. And yeah, we may be competitors out in the field, or you may know somebody, or it's not just exchanging business cards and say, okay, like I'll see you around, like at Kmart or something like that. We're actually doing this to really improve, the caliber of our island. And in 2 years, everybody's going to be that much better.
And that's what we're hoping for. So we have this full day conference. It's not just going to be sitting and lecturing, but Luke is going to be doing a workshop with everybody so we can actually put some of this into practice. They'll also have opportunities for follow-up sessions, for coaching sessions. So if you really want to deep dive into what they've got to share, you can sign up with them and do follow-up sessions. And then, of course, in typical GYP fashion, we're going to have a mixer as well. So
very nice.
At the end of the day, we're all going to share what we've learned and talk about it and how we're going to implement it into our daily work lives.
And then challenge if you have like a really good memory when, like telling funny jokes and, like hanging out afterwards.
I'm going to try to remember as many names as possible.
There you go. Yeah, putting theory into practice.
Yep.
Okay, Kyla, I am sold and everything. So how can people register? How can we get tickets? And are there still slots available?
Yes, absolutely. There are. So the event is taking place on Tuesday, November 18 at the Hyatt Regency Guam. And
they got good fish there. That I remember. Yeah,
they
got
have
really
good fish
seafood.
and everything else, right? So you don't want to miss that. But yes, the conference does start at 8:30 up until 5, followed by the mixer. Tickets are $250, but if you are a GYP member, that will be $200.
Very nice.
Price,
Which
yes.
is a very, very small investment considering what you're going to get out of this, going forward. And what would the target audience, would you say, you guys? Is it, C-suite executives? Is it like mid-level managers, or is this anybody in the organizational chart can avail of this?
Anybody really, right? And so yes, this
big
is
corporations, sole proprietorships. And
so this is a GYP event. However, this is not just for the Guam Young Professionals. We would like to invite the whole community to come join us.
Okay, everybody, do not forget, interesting choice of words, to register for this, because this is really a fascinating topic. And I'm so on board when, Kyla, you reach out to me and say, hey, can we do an interview about this? And this is one of many. I mean, this isn't just like a one and done and everything, but GYP is always looking to bring out these things, again, Marcus, to make Guam's business community that much sharper, that much more efficient.
Yes. Yeah. So when I was asked to head the GYP committee this year, we had a group conversation and we talked about what is something that we need to bring to the table.
Do you ever sleep?
I try to.
No.
Okay.
I try to. But
Remember to sleep. That's
I
important
remember
too.
to sleep, but your sleep is actually very important as part of this whole wellness 360-degree.
That's true,
So
yes.
meditation, sleep, making sure my quality of the sleep is good, exercise. Right?
Good
We were
point.
just talking about that off air. So all of those things are components of it. But you're right, this is not a one-off thing. So what we want to do is continue offering these opportunities because we've got these young professionals who are up and coming, and I know the intention is that let's go and let's rah 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 all the time, but you've got to have a balance in life, and I think this is the opportunity to remind that. And how do you balance that? So we're going to be talking about like biohacking. How does your gut, what you eat, what you consume, affects how you make decisions the next day?
Which is so interesting because we're all roughly the same age. But when I first got out, when I first graduated from college at UOG and I got out into the workforce, my coworkers and I would go and we'd have like steak for lunch, and all you can eat shrimp. And then it would cause us to like drag a little bit. Now the kids these days getting into the workforce, on the cusp of becoming those mid-level managers, they realize the value of, like you said, mental fortitude, physical health, getting rest, reducing stress and everything like that so that they can perform at their optimal level.
Yeah, so physical health has been something that I say maybe the last decade or two that's really kind of been on the forefront, right? And then now mental health, taking care of your mental health is a big component of that. And so I think this is a good starting point to do it and then get into some good habits.
Excellent. Well, you guys, thank you for putting this on. I'm really, really excited to be there and cover this and, maybe just like sit next to Kyla and like really take notes.
Yes.
We look forward to welcoming you.
All right, guys. So remember to be there.
Yes, I do. I would like to add a big thank you to our sponsors. We would like to thank NewGen, Coke and Foremost, ITNI and IPNI, Security Title, and Docomo Pacific.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I will remember to register.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.